una diocesi giovane come quella di Juina.
When you find a diocese as young as Juina facing serious problems like violence, drug trafficking, unemployment, education and health issues, you have to step back a moment and try to watch everything from a distance, to get closer to God. It's only then, when you are renewed with hope and able to overcome a certain weariness and stress, which is often at the origin of our problems, it's only then, when you can breathe a fresher air, the air of faith, that this allows you the energy to transmit hope to people. The bishop's mission is precisely one of being at the service of the gospel, to give the world hope.
Servitori del Vangelo per la speranza del mondo.
Monsignor Franco Dalla Valle came from Italy to Brazil in 1979. He was a Salesian missionary at that time. In 1998, he was ordained the first bishop of the new Diocese of Juina. For Catholics, a diocese is a special expression of church, historically created to take better care of the human and spiritual need within a given region. Each bishop, as a representative of Jesus within the church, is a direct successor to the apostles.
Aqui no Brasil, nós temos uma...
I think that we should be proud of ourselves here in Brazil, because of the situation of the church here and that we have good bishops. They are not only shepherds of a living community, but they are also shepherds who belong to that same community. They live with their people, facing the same problems and having the same spiritual and material needs as well.
Espiritualmente, mas até materialmente também. E a nossa missão da ajuda à igreja cristã.
Here in Brazil especially, the mission of the aid to the church in need is to be near our shepherds and care for these needs. We also try to provide them with the necessary tools so that they can evangelize these communities. We try to do our best, backed by the generosity of our donors.
Para eles evangelizarem essas populações.
The Diocese of Juina is situated in the northwest region in the Brazilian state of Mato Grosso, bordered by the states of Rondônia and Amazonas. Juina is hundreds of kilometers from the larger cities, and its roads are in poor condition. It is a border zone caught between the almost virgin Amazonian rainforests and expanding civilization, especially through agriculture. The first advances on nature are visible through the impact of the timber industry and through gold and diamond mining. Increasing deforestation is caused by extensive agriculture and stock breeding. These activities have generated serious environmental impact and often an unsustainable short-term economy. Consequently, the region that encompasses this young diocese of Juina is characterized by a hasty installation of industry and by an increasing migration of those who look for better opportunities. Sometimes this industrialization is organized by the state, and sometimes it is the result of illegal and unplanned development. As a consequence, the population and economy both wax and wane quickly and unpredictably. This phenomenon is an obstacle in the proper settlement of families and the creation of the infrastructure and institutions necessary for the healthy development and workings of a society. Additionally, this phenomenon creates an atmosphere suitable for the rapid growth of drug trafficking.
Io sono un pauroso.
I'm very timid. I'm always afraid. However, I believe we should not be guided by fear. I have seen many murders in this region over many years. There have been martyrs, such as Father Ezekiel Eramin, Vicente Canias, and many other lay people because of drug trafficking, injustice, and gunmen. We are constantly witnessing murders, through which criminals try to induce panic, and in so doing, impose their laws, which are laws of crime. But under these circumstances, we must not be afraid. We cannot let people be afraid. We must encourage in them a sense of peace and serenity. We must offer solutions of peace. We must also offer peace when we face these sources of conflict. We must try to introduce a respect for the law and to provide solutions for the present and foreseeable challenges.
When Monsignor Dalla Valle was ordained bishop, he started by laying the foundations. When he arrived, the region destined to be the Diocese of Huina counted 8 priests and 20 nuns. They had to cover an area of 123 square kilometres, with a population density of less than 1 inhabitant per square kilometre.
You cannot establish a diocese in just a few months or years. You need patience, and you need to play with a longer period of time to help people understand the whole process. In this way, they can get involved in the process of allowing God to act in these processes, because God employs longer periods of time and great patience.
At present, the Diocese of Huina comprises the Bishop's See, a minor seminary, a major seminary, and 10 parishes comprising almost 500 small communities, which are divided between both urban centres and the vast rural region. In addition, academic and continuing education institutions, social and healthcare centres, a television channel, a radio station, and a newspaper have been created. One of the greatest efforts is devoted to children and teenagers through community centres, where the Church fulfills a wide range of activities from promotion to education. As a Salesian, Monsignor Franco has experience and a special love for the young. The diocese is doing all it can to provide better conditions for the children throughout their education. It is a challenge to maintain these structures economically, especially for a young diocese situated in a poor region. Income is dependent on Monsignor Franco's ideas and the efforts of his team. Although the faithful are committed to spreading the faith and to maintaining the different social and development projects, nothing would have been possible without the generosity of Catholics from around the world. The help received from the international charity Aid to the Church in Need has been indispensable.
The Diocese of Juína deserves our special attention because it is a church suffering from emigration and from all the problems emigration generates. Cultural, social, and religious uprooting, violence, prostitution, drug trafficking, a lack of prospects for young people, unemployment, and a lack of medical care. Don Franco is planting a new seed of faith in the heart of all these social problems. He is offering a new lung that enables people to breathe an air of good news, an air of hope.
It was a challenge for the bishop to find suitable and reliable co-workers who could accompany him in the responsibility of guiding the diocese, not only spiritually, but also administratively. His achievement has been as a consequence of a faithful attitude, his long priestly experience and his familiarity in the Amazon as the superior of the Salesian congregation for over 6 years.
The job I do in the Diocese of Juína is very complementary to his job. I work next to him, which makes me happy. He is an open-minded person, very active. He is also coming with new ideas, and so you have to pay attention when you talk to him, so that you can understand clearly what he thinks about the diocese, about pastoral matters, about everything that he hopes to achieve.
Challenges to these pastoral activities are the limitations imposed by poverty, the poor communication and long distances between the communities, particularly complicated when working to bring the lay people to the educational centres. Despite these drawbacks, the pastoral team is developing an intensive educational plan for the local catechists. In this way, lay people in the future will be able to get more involved in the diocesan pastoral work. All this furthers the work of evangelization, addressing the variety of issues throughout the different regions. More than 400 lay people attend a school of theology offered in every parish, obtaining a degree validated by the University of Rio de Janeiro.
Their efforts, their hard work, their wish to study, to learn more, even through media channels. For example, the School of Theology on television or many other religious programs shown by Nazareth TV in Juina comprise a very useful tool for evangelization. People learn more about God and are able to find a direction in their lives. We are looking forward to having a radio station soon.
It may sound exaggerated to have a television channel, a radio station or a newspaper for a diocese as poor as this. However, Monsignor Franco believed that a new diocese had to be born young, that is, applying all the modern resources that are available to bring the message of the gospel to society. If not exploited, it would be impossible for the local church to offer an option to the neo-pagan choices promoted through present-day communications, in addition to the challenge of the growing number of powerful sects operating in Brazil. Nazareth TV works to offer the gospel message to not only those committed to the Catholic Church, but also to those who are interested in learning more or listening to a different opinion on relevant social issues. Moreover, educational programs on videotapes are also distributed to parishes, especially to those where it is not easy to receive the channel.
In this job, what gives me the greatest satisfaction is the fact that we, as a church, have the possibility to employ this modern means of communication to reveal the gifts of the church. Thanks to this, we can prepare a meeting, we can help people who need education, we can show what is being done, we can show what motivates people to participate in pastoral work, to participate in the community and to cooperate with the church. We are delighted because we can always rely on our bishop, who is really trustworthy. He gives us courage. He is always ready to lend a hand, despite all his other obligations and all the sectors he has to look after. He always has the right words to encourage us when we are disappointed. He always says, "Stand up, come on, walk, I'm here." That is why we are very happy to work with him.
Monsignor Franco is very strict regarding spending money or investing in a framework when the structures have no clear objectives for the pastoral mission. That is the reason why every building project has to focus on the task of evangelization. Catechesis is not effected without an appropriate library or suitable building. Impact is reduced when education is conducted in the streets or under a tree. The present precarious situation for catechetical education will be resolved when the Diocesan Centre of Catechesis is finished. This will allow the education of different groups in the sacraments and the training of catechists. The International Catholic Charity Aid to the Church in Need has already sent library books and money to build the centre. Catholics in Juina have been looking forward to the opening of this centre for years.
It is not easy to organize a new diocese, especially when it is situated in the vast Amazon region. Our church has to be present in those villages, which are now increasingly emerging from the depths of the Amazon rainforest.
Na construção de uma igreja viva e atraente, Dom Franco e seus colaboradores.
Don Franco and his co-workers can count on our support to build up a local church, which will be attractive and full of life. We already have supported the building of several churches, chapels, community centers, centers of catechetical education, and we are helping with the building of a monastery for women.
Mas também estamos ajudando com veículos.
We have also helped to provide vehicles, as without a means of transportation, missionaries would not be able to reach the different far-flung communities. Often the journey lasts a day.
Quase dia até chegar lá.
Monsignor Franco looks to assure the permanent presence of the Church, which accompanies every single rural community. These communities are being organized thanks to the perseverance of the local priests. Some have already chapels and the necessary premises ready for evangelization. Others are still in need. Priests visit the distant villages and their parishes every month, and the bishop pays a pastoral visit to each community once a year. According to Monsignor Dalla Valle, one of his favorite activities in his episcopal ministry is meeting with the different communities and so be in direct contact with the faithful. He talks to them, he listens to their worries, he knows their problems and shares their joy and celebration with which every community welcomes the shepherd.
Eu vejo nele uma pessoa de fé.
He is a faithful person, one who trusts in God. And he says that everything that has been achieved in the diocese is God's work, not his.
Obra de Deus e não obra sua. E sempre repete a palavra.
He is always repeating these words. God is the one who masters his work, and we are simply his servants. I honor his love to the Eucharist, which is the core of the whole Church. I also admire how he encourages the lay commitment to the Church, how he cares for the Church, how he organizes education. I think he is someone totally devoted to God, devoted to his job. I can also see how deeply he loves teaching the seminarians. He takes on this responsibility personally.
An urgent need for this young diocese is priests. Monsignor Franco knows this from personal experience as a result of his experience as a professor at the Salesian Seminary. His ideas are clear, and he is strict in his selection, in his teaching, and in the accompaniment of his candidates. The Clarissan sisters came from Mexico, answering Monsignor Franco's call to establish a new monastery of St. Francis and St. Clare. Their charisma is work and prayer. They lead a poor and simple life, living from the fruits of their labor. The community's strength is drawn from prayer and the permanent adoration of the Eucharist. Their intercessory prayers for the diocese, for the bishop, and for the whole world are vital, in addition to the spiritual comfort they bring to the local population. The bishop has already bought land to build the monastery, as the house where the sisters live is crumbling around them. During the rainy season, it is impossible to stay there. That is why Monsignor Franco continues to walk with them. They are in need, but with them he envisions a future full of hope. They are confident that they will get help soon to build a decent chapel and a suitable house to fulfill the necessities of their humble monastery.
An important task is still outstanding, the task of caring for those who are at risk. For example, immigrants, the native populations, and the unemployed. There is a crisis affecting the timber industry at the moment, which is affecting employment.
Questi anche abbiamo cercato di essere vicini. Abbiamo cercato di essere vicini con la
We try to be near our native populations through the Earth Pastoral Organization and the Pastoral Missionary Council. Little can be done if we do not get people involved.
Non si può fare niente di queste cose se non si coinvolge la parte che è aiutata.
The Diocese of Huina has developed a variety of social projects. The Catholic Church initiates the process, and then the people who benefit from the project continue it. From the outset, Monsignor Franco started basic educational institutions for children and professional training centers for young people and adults. The intent of these activities is that they are sustainable in the long run and are environmentally friendly. These criteria allow people to settle permanently, either in the country or in the city, and in so doing minimize the damage caused by continuous migration. In addition, the diocese supplies the tools and resources to start these activities. It also offers training courses for small start-up business companies. These projects do not only provide material help, but also give a further value to work. Consequently, recipients are asked to pay back, little by little, what they have received from the diocese. This repayment enables the diocese then in turn to help other people, and it is the first step to self-financing. Every initiative undertaken by the diocese is aimed at self-sufficiency. Whenever it is necessary, the bishop himself also helps to sell the goods produced by the local people. It is important to help develop their belief in the possibility of their development. They must know that they can live from the fruits of their efforts. Monsignor Franco has developed a deep communication with the native communities in his effort to help them. The diocese has created a native museum as well as a market to help them sell their products in the city. In so doing, he offers support, but always requiring their effort. Thus, they can feel proud of what they have achieved and develop a sense of responsibility for their lives.
When I visit the Indian communities, I see they have water, wells, and toilets. They have work in the fields providing good harvests. They have healthy and happy children. There is a school, and many are thinking of secondary school, and some of them will go to university. I think in a short time, they will no longer need our material help. They will need our support in their faith and our support to defend them. But they're on the right path, and they are the protagonists of their own future.
The region of Huina is one of the many places on earth where the Catholic Church continues to serve both the needs of evangelization and supporting the material needs of the local population. This task is possible thanks to people like Monsignor Franco Dalla Valle, the Good Shepherd in the Diocese of Huina, devoting and risking his life for the well-being of others and out of love for Jesus.